how do you fix all that debt? Great question, Chaz. Welcome to the future, where America has racked up an extra $46 billion in debt since I filmed that piece. And the fair whack of that is because of Social Security, America's public pension system. Social Security benefits are paid to 65 million Americans, keeping 26 million out of poverty. But it helps more than just the poor. This is the bottom 60% of the population. You can see the vast majority of them are relying on Social Security for over half their income. How much has it affected seniors' income? This much. Single seniors earn 122% more than their 1962 counterparts did, and married seniors earn 143% more. Some might say that Social Security's done too good a job. While old people were receiving a 55% boost in their net worth over the last 30-odd years, young people were receiving a 17% cut in their wealth. And those young people might be facing more cuts in the future. You see, as the boomers age, Social Security spending is on the rise, and there are fewer youngsters to pay for it. In 1960, there were 5 workers for every Social Security recipient, but by 2035, there will only be 2 workers for every beneficiary, which means Social Security is projected to exhaust its surpluses in 15 years. Note, that does not mean it will stop paying benefits, but those payouts will be greater than they budgeted for. The important thing is it will result in more debt. So how do we fix it? Well, first, let me explain how Social Security works, because it isn't like what Australians do when they retire, which is tweet abuse at people. All employees pay 7.65% in payroll taxes to their trust, and so do their employers. But they only pay tax on income up to 127 grand. So neither employers nor employees pay more than about 8 grand tax, no matter how much the employee earns. Then when you retire, the government uses a very complicated formula to work out what benefits you're paid. The more you pay into the trust, the higher your benefits. The later you retire, the higher your benefits. But no one gets paid more than about $32,000 a year, and those payments continue for the rest of your life. Now, the easiest way to save money from such a system is to pay less benefits, which is fine for the wealthy, but the problem is that the older people are, the more likely they are to run out of savings and rely on Social Security for over 90% of their income. So cutting benefits would disproportionately affect the poor people who have no savings and the very old people. You could raise contributions across the board. In other words, raise the payroll tax. Now, raising the payroll tax by 2.6%, that's 1.3% for both the employee and employer, would cover Social Security for 75 years. Sounds easy, but that would be a tax hike on employment, which might not be great for the unemployment rate. So people often go for this option, raising the retirement age. After all, people live longer now, don't they? So why not make them work an extra year or two? Well, the first thing is, poor people don't tend to like their jobs very much. So more lower income people retire at the first opportunity than higher income people do. So you're making those people work longer in a job that they hate and punishing them more if they retire early. But more importantly, not everyone's life expectancy is rising so much. Men in the bottom 1% have a life expectancy of about 15 years less than men in the top 1%. And the women aren't much better off. Those extra Social Security payments that rich people receive simply because of their extra lifespan add up to $130,000 each. But look again at just how early those poorest men die. If you raise the retirement age, there is every chance that some of those poor people here will be pushed to work till they drop dead. Let's put some numbers on it. People who are 35 today with college degrees can expect to enjoy between 10 and 20 years of retirement before they die. But men without high school diplomas or black men without college degrees can expect to enjoy less than 3 years retirement before they die. And that is before we talk about lifting the retirement age. Which leaves us with one more option. Lift the maximum contribution that rich people make. Remember, right now, no one pays a cent on anything they earn over $127,000. And that is keeping the trust fund going for retirees like Roseanne there until 2034. But if you make the rich pay payroll taxes for all their income and then pay them higher benefits accordingly, that would keep the trust fund going till 2067. And finally, if you make the rich pay payroll taxes for all their income but don't change their benefits, that keeps the trust fund going till 2082. So there are a few options there. The Social Security debt issue isn't that difficult to solve. Medicare and Medicaid, on the other hand, well, we'll talk about them another time.
Oh, don't end there!
John, it's okay. We'll cover it soon. It's fine.
You just made me lose at Subway Surfers.
Wish you'd retire.